First, I want to say that you want to use baby wipes in the studio or where you're working. Here's the viewfinder. I've given these pieces out a couple weeks ago when I was handing out supplies. It was a black piece of cardboard, but you could do this with any type of cardstock. You could make your own markings. I had pre-made some markings. That's very similar to the ratio of our drawing pad. Not exactly perfect though. And you want to have little tick marks, I don't know if you can see them, at the halfway on each one of these lines. When I cut, I start about an 1/8 inch above and take it about an 1/8 inch below. And you want to use maybe a corked back ruler if you've got one and press really hard on that ruler to make sure it doesn't slip. And do multiple scorings. Don't try to do it in one scoring. And notice I'm using the back of the drawing pad as kind of like a self-healing mat. You don't want to use corrugated cardboard. The bumps will make it too irregular. And you want to make sure that your fingers are inside the cutting area. Don't put them where they would be close to the blade. This is much like a scalpel. Even the dollar store knives are much like a scalpel, so be careful with that. Here I'm using clear contact paper. This is really old stuff that I've had lying around. You can see that it's at the end of the roll. It looks like it's very undulated and it's just fighting me, but at least the tack's not too strong so I can pull it back up and not pull the surface off the paper and work out some of those bubbles and buckles. And so do a crisscross in the center, and that way you can bend that center around and have that area free. You're going to bend them back over. I have a little bit too much material here, so I'll just cut that off and bend it over and cut it off that tail end too and bend that over. And notice how I'm dealing with the corners. I'm going to just kind of cut in at the corners a little bit and take off that excess so it's just not too unwieldy. And that way it'll fold over much easier. And trust me, the craftsmanship's not great, but it could be a lot worse if I allowed those extra edges to hang in there. So just cut those out. And just get in there and cut those out. And it's not real refined, but it just helps. And then when you bend the corners over, they might be even too big for your viewfinder. So you want to maybe cut a little bit of that edge off so it doesn't hang out too far. Now the back of your viewfinder is not going to be anything attractive if you construct it like this. And the reason why I've got this extra plastic is I'm just showing you, if you consider taking drawing for a while, like several classes, you may want to have this viewfinder for other classes. It's a great device to have on hand. I suggest having black because it's not uncommon to work with charcoal. Notice those 4 ticks in the center. I'm going to line up this piece of acetate that has a crosshair in it and with those tick marks to make sure that they get perfectly quartered. And that way I have the center perfectly worked out. I can just stick that on with a piece of tape wherever I can fit the tape. And as I mentioned, it's not real attractive on the back. It's hodgepodge. But you can get in and notice when you are far away, you could get the whole object. And when you get close, it really crops in on the object. And there you have it.